everyone, it's me, Amanda. Today we're going to go through a 45 minute to an hour-ish vinyasa flow practice focused around your heart chakra. Your heart chakra is associated with love, happiness, joy, all of those nice things, and it's right in the center of your heart. So really, this is going to be focused on a lot of chest openers and keeping the front body nice and open. If you enjoy this practice and you enjoy this video, give me a thumbs up to let me know that you like it and you want more of this type of content. And don't forget to subscribe. I hope you enjoy. See you on your mat. Okay, guys. Let's put stuff there. We're gonna start out on our backs today. So I'm gonna use a yoga block. Where did I put my camera? Over there. I'm gonna use a yoga block and put it between my shoulders, kind of like right here below the shoulder blade. This will just help kind of elevate my chest a little bit and start opening it up even before we really start moving. If you don't have a block, that's fine. You don't need one. If you have a foam roller, something like this, you can use one of these. You can fold up a blanket and put that underneath of you, or like a sweater, anything that might give you a little bit of elevation in the chest. Otherwise, you don't have to do that at all. You can just start laying on your back. It's totally fine. So we're gonna go ahead and start lying on our back. If you're using a prop, go ahead and just place it gently between your shoulder blades, kind of on the bottom part of them. And then relax. If it's uncomfortable for the block or whatever prop you have to be where it is, go ahead and remove it. It's not going to hurt anything. And just take a few minutes here to take some deep breaths and come into your body. Slow inhales and slow exhales. Inhale. Hold at the top for just a second or two. And then exhale so slow it almost feels like you're resisting. Just a couple more breaths like that. Hold at the top and let it go. One more big inhale. The biggest breath that you've taken all day. When you think that you filled up all the way, take one more sip of air at the top and then hold the breath in your body for a couple seconds. And exhale through your mouth. Let it go. When you're ready, go ahead and remove, if you have the prop, remove that. You can cross your ankles if you want and roll over. We're just gonna meet in a tabletop. If it feels funny to cross your ankles, you don't have to. You can just swing your legs around, whatever is comfortable. So we're gonna meet in a tabletop position. And we're just gonna go through some nice cat-cows. So start, hands over shoulders, shoulders over wrists, hips stacked over knees, straight spine. Think reaching your tailbone to the back of the wall and the crown of your head forward. Core is nice and strong. Your back is flat. Flat, straight, whatever word. On your inhale, drop the belly, gaze shifts forward or up, and lift the tailbone to the sky. Exhale to cat pose. Drop the tailbone, drop the head. Spine curves, belly pulls up and inward. Inhale, back to cat. Think about broadening through the base of your spine and reaching your chest forward. And exhale back to cow pose. You can take a few more of these at your own pace. It doesn't have to match mine. You can take any movements that you want to add or remove. You can barrel roll through the chest. You can shake through the hips. You can rock back and forth. Just make sure that any movements that you take on one side, you take in the opposite side to try and balance the body. Just kind of feeling out where you are today. Every day is always a little bit different. It's nice to come into your practice knowing what you have to work with today. Just 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then on the next inhale, come back to center. Inhale, tuck the toes, lift the knees, and push up into downward facing dog. Lift the sides of the waist up and back. Push the floor away with your fingertips. Fingertips spread wide, pushing down through the knuckles and the thumbs. Your spine should be nice and flat. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Release any tension in the head and the back of the neck. Let the head really hang heavy. Gaze should be through your thighs. You can take any movements here. I like to pedal through the hips. You can shake the head up and down, left and right. Just mindful that you're really pushing the ground away with your arms, kind of tractioning your shoulder blades out and around toward the front of your ribs. Zip the front of your body up and in. Core stays active. When you're ready, come to stillness and take a couple breaths here. Your knees can still be bent and your heels do not have to touch the ground. The important thing is that your spine is straight. On your next inhale, come up on your toes, look forward and take teeny tiny steps to get to the front of your mat. Your feet can come right behind your wrists and let your upper body hang over your legs. Drape your belly onto your thighs. Release the neck and the spine here. If you want, you can take a shoulder rinse here, clasp the arms behind behind your back, and bring them forward and let them fall over your head. If that's not for you today, you can grab opposite elbows. You can keep your hands on the floor if you want. If you have your elbows clasped, you can take some movement. Whatever suits you. Really think about letting the upper body fall heavy over the legs. This is a spine stretch. It's not important for your legs to be straight. Let your head hang heavy. When you're ready, bring your hands back down to the mat if they're not already there. Inhale, lift halfway. Spine straight, crown reaches forward, tail reaches back. It doesn't matter how high you lift up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees and curl up. Release the shoulders at the top. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands at heart center. You can take a moment here. If you want to close your eyes, you can. If you would like to keep your eyes open and heavy, they can. Feet can stay hip width distance or feet can come together, whatever's comfortable. Take a moment to set your intention. Think about why you're watching this video, why you decided to practice today. Maybe you just wanted to take some time for yourself. Maybe you want to start being more active and getting some more movement in your life. If you don't really have an intention, I offer the intention of self-love. So really meet yourself where you are. If a movement is hard or it feels challenging, push through, but don't push to the point where your body is doing too much. Hands up to the ceiling, eyes up. Cactus the arms or keep the arms straight. We're going to go into a back bend. Hips forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Step your feet back to a high plank. Shoulders are stacked over your wrists. Spine is nice and straight. Your tailbone is kind of tucked. And your head is looking a little bit towards the top of your mat. Here, we're going to lower all the way down. So you can bend your knees for the first one if you want to. You can bend your knees for all of them if you want to. But either knees lowered or knees high. We're going to shift forward just a little bit and lower all the way down as slow as you can, elbows in. Untuck the toes. Press the hands to the outsides, or not to the outsides, but fingertips line up with the tops of your shoulders, palms underneath of your shoulders, and curl up into a cobra. It doesn't matter how high you lift. Think about tractioning your hands back. You should feel this in the back of your core. Exhale to uncurl. Tuck the toes, push up into a high plank. You can use your knees again if you'd like. And then let the hips go up and back into your downward facing dog. Couple breaths to reset here. On your next inhale, rise up on the toes, look forward, walk, float, or step forward into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, circle sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, cactus the arms and fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale, fold. You can step back, you can jump back if you'd like. I'm going to continue stepping for this one for now. And then you can move through your version of a vinyasa. I'll cue the traditional vinyasa for this one in case anyone doesn't know it. And then from this point onward, you can move through any variation of a vinyasa that you're comfortable with. So modify as necessary. For a traditional vinyasa, we'll start in the high plank. Again, shoulders over wrists, spine straight, tailbone tucked. Roll forward 2 inches onto your toes. Gaze forward a little bit to the top of your mat. Lower halfway, bending the elbows, keeping the elbows tucked in to your rib cage. Inhale here. Hold and then pull forward into your upward facing dog. Your feet and your hands are the only thing in the mat, on the mat. Take a breath here and exhale. Roll up and back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, rise up on the toes, look forward, make your way to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, cactus the arms, move into your back bend, hips forward, legs strong. Inhale, rise. Exhale, swan dive, fold. Ooh, don't mind me losing my balance. I closed my eyes for a second. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step, float. However you'd like to get back. Move through your vinyasa. Meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, rise. Exhale, move to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a moment to rest. From here, circle sweep arms up on an inhale. Exhale, cactus the arms, bend backwards, chest up, hips forward. Inhale, rise, and exhale to Utkatasana, chair pose. If your arms are up high, make sure that you're keeping your shoulders down. Weight is in the back of your feet, in your heels. If you look down, you should be able to see all 10 toes. Maybe you can even give your toes a wiggle. Think about curling the upper body upward. So you're really working with the natural curvature of your spine. Think cobra spine here in the upper body. Think about turning the inner seams of your pants inward, and that will help to flare the back of your body out. You can keep your hands up. You can put your hands forward. You can keep hands at heart center. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. On an inhale, step your right foot back. Lower the knee and rise into Anjaneyasana. If you need to, you can use your thigh to help rise up, to balance yourself. Use this, get comfortable here. Think about tractioning your front foot backwards and your back foot forwards. That will help you come out of your hips a little bit. Think about raising your crown of your head up to the ceiling or the sky, wherever you are. If you want to clasp out opposite elbows, if you want to bring your hands together, interlock all your fingers, release your forefinger. Move the arm bones back and curl your gaze up. Exhale, frame your foot with your hands, untuck the toes, pop the knee back, step your left foot back to meet your right, and move through your vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog. Step the right foot forward, no momentum. Giant step. Lower the left knee down, untuck the toes, and rise into your Anjaneyasana. Take the same clasp variation with your arms on this side as you did with your others. Again, traction your front foot backward and your back foot forward. Think coming up out of your hips. Hips are square to the front of the mat. Gaze lifts. Exhale, frame your right foot, pop the back knee up, step your left foot forward to meet your right in your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the fingertips along the floor and rise into your chair pose. Sink a little bit lower. Really open the chest forward to the front of the room. And exhale, rise. Hands to heart center. We'll take that on the other side. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, cactus the arms into a back bend. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Oh, don't fold. Don't fold. Exhale, Utkatasana. Again, you can sweep your fingers along the edge of the floor. If that helps you know how deep you can go. Shift weight back into the heels, gaze forward. Cobra back. Relax your shoulders. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step your left foot back. Drop the left knee, untuck the toes. Rise to Anjaneyasana. Exhale, frame your right foot. Step the right so the right foot back to meet the left. Move through your vinyasa. Exhale, downward facing dog. When you're ready, go ahead and step your right foot forward. No, don't step your right foot forward. Step your left foot forward. Giant step in between your hands. Lower your back leg, untuck your toes, rise into Anjaneyasana. Come out of your hips, reach back. Hips are square, foundation is strong. Exhale, fold. Untuck the toes, or retuck the toes. Step the right foot to meet the left. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep up to chair pose. Exhale, rise. That'll do our warm-up. We're gonna now move through the standing sequence. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale to one more backwards bend. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale, fold. Step back into your downward facing dog. If you'd like to vinyasa, you can. But meeting in a downward facing dog. Take a couple of cleansing breaths. Inhale, right leg up. Try and keep your hips square so the pinky toe edge of your foot faces down. Go ahead and bend the knee, open the hips straight up. You can circle the hips if that feels good. I have really tight hips and really tight hamstrings, so often my hips will cramp. If that happens, you do not have to take circles. If you'd like, you can flip your dog. So, place the right foot onto the ground. Come onto your back side of your body. Your right foot is going to be placed on the ground. Your left hand stays on the ground. Your left foot comes down. Well, your left foot was always down, but it's straight out. You're not really putting a lot of pressure into it. Most of the pressure is going to be into your left hand and your right foot. Really push up through your hips and open through your chest. The right hand reaches back. Exhale, plant the right hand, spin back into your downward facing dog. Knee comes back up, hips square off. Curl your knee into your nose. Bring the knee, foot in. Step between your front hands as opposed to your back hands. Drop the back foot and come up into Warrior One. In Warrior One, you want your hips to be square to the front of the room. If your hips, I lost my balance because I'm trying to talk. If your hips have a hard time squaring off, you can widen your stance. So just think about back leg should be nice and straight at about a 45-degree angle. Kind of point it towards the front corner of your mat. Lean, bend into the front leg. Hips are square. You can use your hands to figure out if your hips are square. Inhale, bring your arms up. And just like we did in our Anjaneyasana, we're going to move the arm bones back into a little backwards bend. Make sure you have a strong foundation. The back foot, all four corners of both feet should be on the ground, but especially the back foot. If it's not, you might need to set the foot in a little bit closer, or you might need to change the angle of the foot. Do what works for your body. All right, where am I going from here? From here, inhale to straighten your spine if you have a back bend. And then I'm going to spin in a circle because I'm about to be facing the wrong way. Exhale, lift the toes and spiral to the side of the room. So you're now facing the left wall. You should have your hands straight out and your feet should be just a little bit pigeon-toed. This should be a pretty wide stance for you. Inhale, lift the chest high to the ceiling, and exhale, fold very slowly, hinging from the hips. Chest forward. Once you've lowered as much as you're going to be able to lower, you can either grab the backs of the calves. If you're up high, you can grab the backs of the thighs. Whatever grip is comfortable for you, you can take. You can, if you're down on the ground, you can grab your big toes. You can grab the outsides of the feet or the backs of the feet or the ankles. Whatever grip you have, think about using your upper body strength to traction your spine downward. Let the crown of your head hang heavy. And you can bend your knees as much as you need to. On an inhale, halfway lift, hands to hips, rise slowly. All right, now I'm going to spin back around so I don't cue the wrong directions. Pivot your feet back to face the front of your mat. You may need to step your back foot in just a little bit. You want about 3, maybe 4 feet, and you should be able to have your hips square to the front. Here, we're going to bring the hands to the back of our bodies. Clasp, you can either clasp the hands. If you can't do that, that's okay. Bring them where you're comfortable. You can bring the hands to the hips if need be. You can clasp opposite elbows, or you can use reverse prayer. Square your body to the front of the mat, your hips. Lift the chest again, and you're going to fold over your front leg, hinging at the hips, leading with your chest. Bend your knee as much as you need to. So you want to drape your upper body over your front leg, but if you have tight hamstrings, that likely isn't going to happen with a straight knee. Hinge as much as you can, then bend the knee and come the rest of the way down. Really think about leading with the chest. Keep your hips forward. Strong foundation will help you keep your balance. Release your arms, frame your foot. If you need to use the foot here, or the hands here to balance, you always can. Bring your hands to your hips and rise. From here, you can spin your back foot out into a warrior two, just for a minute. Opening the hips to the side of the room. And then go ahead and bring your hands down to the inside of the right foot. If you want, you can keep the leg up here, or you can lower the left leg. So if you want to keep the leg lifted, you can take some movement forward and backwards. Your hands are both on the inside of your right foot. So you're in a lizard lunge. Your shoulder should be to the inside of your right knee, and you want to make sure no matter what that your knee is pointing the same direction as your right toes. Whether your foot is up or down, or your knee is up, your back knee is up or down, it doesn't really matter too much. We're gonna hold here for a second. If you'd like to drop to your forearms, you can. You can still drop the knee. Take whatever depth is comfortable for you today. And hold. Squeeze the right knee into the shoulder. Everyone is going to now bring, even if you have the knee popped, drop the left knee, and it doesn't matter if you tuck or untuck your toes. If it's comfortable, and only if it's comfortable, you can flare to the outside of the right foot. From here, plant your left hand strongly on the ground. Reach the right arm back, and you can lift the left foot. If you have this grip, that's great. Think about kicking into your arm, kicking into your hand to open the shoulders. Gaze, if it can, is to the back of the room. If that's comfortable in the neck. If it's not comfortable in the neck, you can look to the side of the room, you can look to the front of the room. Whatever is the most comfortable. On an inhale, release the grip gently. Plant the hand, lower your back knee. Tuck the toes, lift the knee, step back into your high plank, and vinyasa or don't. We're gonna meet in a downward facing dog. I'm gonna straighten my mat out because it's stressing me out. So we're gonna move through that one time on the other side. If you need some rest, go ahead and take a child's pose here. Again, meeting in downward facing dog whenever you're ready. On an inhale, raise the left foot to the sky. Pinky toe edge of the foot points down, hips are square. Go ahead and bend the left knee. Think about reaching the knee up to the corner of the room. Foot falls down towards your butt. You can take some circles with the hips here, if that's comfortable for you. You can keep still if you'd like. On an exhale, gently place the left foot on the ground. Turn onto the back of your right foot. Push up in your hips and your shoulders and reach back into your wild thing. Really reach towards the sky with your hips and your shoulders. Push open through the shoulders. Gently reconnect to the left palm and come back into your three-legged dog. Square off the hips, tuck knee to nose, and bring left foot through your hands to the front of the mat. Drop your back heel, raise up into warrior one. With whatever grip you took on the first side. Hips are still square to the front of the mat. All four corners of your back foot are on the ground. Back leg is nice and strong and actively engaged. Sink into the front leg and take a slight back bend. Or don't. If that's not comfortable, you can stay upright. On an exhale, go ahead and pivot the toes to the side of the mat. I'm on the right side this time. You want to be a little bit pigeon-toed for this. This time, instead of arms spread out, if you want to clasp the arms behind your back, think about pulling your fist to the ground. If you can't reach your fist, you can take opposite elbows or whatever's comfortable or accessible. Reach your fist down to the ground, raise the chest, look up and fold, leading with your chest. Once you reach the bottom, you can move your arm bones forward and let gravity give you a nice shoulder rinse. Try and keep weight forward into your toes as much as you can. And breathe. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Release your grip. Bring the arms to feet, calves, ankles, wherever you can. Pull the upper body down to the ground. Keep rolling your weight forward. Tailbone reaches up to the sky. Inhale. Hands to hips, halfway lift, and gently, slowly rise all the way up. Pivot your toes back to the front of your mat. Step the back foot forward just enough so that you have 3 or 4 feet. You can spread the feet out. I like the feet to be spread. Some people like them narrow. Square your hips off to the front of the room. Take whatever grip you took on the first side for pyramid. So if you took opposite elbows, opposite wrists, hands clasped, reverse prayer. Raise the chest up and fold. Remember to keep the hips square so the left hip pulls back, right hip pushes forward, and to bend the knee as much as you can once you've folded as deeply as you can. Try and relax your upper body. Inhale, release the grip, hands to hips, and rise. Open up into warrior 2. Adjust your stance if you need to. Hips open to the sides of the room, arms to the front and backs of the room. Gaze over left hand. We're just here for a minute. Spiral your arms down to the inside of the left foot. If you need to, you can scoot the left foot out a little bit. Stay up high, take some movement if you want. You can drop the knee. You can still take some movement if you want. I know this usually feels really good for me because my hamstrings are pretty tight. It's a nice way to really get access to the hamstrings. If you want to drop to your forearms, you can. Make sure to keep your left foot hugging into your left shoulder and your left knees pointed over your left toes. Drop the hips. You can see I just have my hips up way high. You can also lower the knee. Drop the hips as much as comfortable. If you're supported, it doesn't matter so much how high your hips are. Just try and make sure that you're keeping your body safe by pointing the knee over your toes. Everyone should now drop the knee. Untuck the toes, come back up on your palms. Plant the right hand, lift back right foot, and if it's accessible to you, reach left arm up and back, grabbing the outside of left foot. If you have the grip, go ahead and pull, kick into left hand to open the shoulders. Gaze shifts over to the back of the wall. Left knee can fall out. Really think about opening into the shoulders here. When you're ready, release the grip, plant the hand, gently bring the toes back to the mat. Tuck your toes, step back, to high plank. You can move through one more vinyasa. That's going to be our last standing side. Moving through your back bend. Press up into downward facing dog. And bring the knees wide to the mat for a child's pose. Really take some time to rest here. It can be active if you want, reaching your fingertips forward and pushing your hips back, or if you want, you can just let the hands fall, let the arms lay heavy. You can reach the arms back if that feels better on the shoulders. Really let the chest melt into the mat. On an inhale, back up into your tabletop pose. Tuck the toes, press up into downward facing dog. Lift on an inhale, the right leg straight up, hips square, tuck knee to nose, curl forward, and place the right foot near your left hand and the knee towards your right hand, setting up for pigeon pose. So your right ankle should be right behind your left hand, and your right knee is behind your right hand. If your shin doesn't come parallel to the front of your mat, that's okay. Either flex or point your toes to protect your knee. And if you feel any pain on your knee, you can take this position supine. So if you have any knee pain, go ahead and take it this way. And it's literally the same pose. It's just a little gentler on the knees. So you can scooch your back foot back if you'd like. Stay lifted for a minute. Think about tractioning the back foot forward and the front leg back. That'll really bring you up just a little bit so that it's active and you're not sinking in. Try and make sure that your hips are as square as they can be and you're not leaning too far to one side or the other. If you're comfortable here, you can bring the hands to the mat. You can bring forearms down. You can stretch forward, whatever you'd like. Take a few breaths here. You should really feel this in the outside of the right hip. Breathe into the sensation. Deep, slow inhales and long exhales. Inhale, if you've stretched out, go ahead and lift your upper body again. If you'd like, and it's accessible to you, I'll walk through mermaid pose. So from here, kick the back foot, the left foot, up. Grab the left foot with the hand. If you can, bring the left foot into that left elbow crease. This is plenty. If this is enough, if you have this, go ahead and open your shoulders. If you'd like more, you can reach right arm up and around and reach for left hand. Try and keep your weight centered and really focus on opening the shoulders. Wherever you are, just breathe. If you really have to clasp to hold this, go back a little bit. It's not about making the shape, it's about feeling the sensation. On your next inhale, go ahead and plant your right hand. Release the left foot gently to the ground. Lift up into a tabletop or a downward facing dog. I like it from a tabletop, but if you're more comfortable up high, go ahead. Take some hip circles with the right hip. You just did a lot of work with it. And whenever you're ready, meet me again in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, knee to nose. Right foot comes to left hand. Left foot comes behind right hand. Left knee comes behind left hand. Back knee lowers. Walk the right knee back if you like. Flex or point the front toes. Point the back toes. Try and make sure that your foot is in line with your hip. Come up a little bit out of the hips. Keep your hips squared forward. And when you're ready, lower the hands and fold if you'd like. It's normal for one side to feel different than the other. Find somewhere where it's comfortable for you to sit. Ideally, stop one step before your last point. You don't want to put so much stress on your body that it feels like it's about to break. You should be able to breathe evenly and smoothly. Slow your breath down. Slow your heart rate down. When you're ready, lift back up. There's cat hair everywhere. And we'll walk through the same posture on the left side. Left side, right side, I guess. Kick the right foot up. I'm gonna scooch my knee back a little bit. If it feels like it's too much on the knee, don't take this. You can always take a twist. You can stay in your pigeon pose, whatever is comfortable. If you've got the grip with your hand, see if you can wiggle it up to your elbow and kick to open your shoulders. If you want more, left arm comes up and around and meets right arm. My back doesn't like that today, so we're just going to focus on opening the shoulders. If you've got the bind, gaze is up, reaching toward the back up top corner of the room. Release the back foot, plant the right hand, press up into a, what am I going for here? Tabletop. Tabletop or downward facing dog. Take some more hip circles. When you feel like your hips are nice and shaken out, you can move through a child's pose if you like. You can move through another downward facing dog. Whatever you feel like you want to do. We're going to lower the knees, cross at the ankles, roll over the feet. I stopped talking outside of my head. Plant the feet on the ground. We're going to go ahead and roll down. From here, walk your feet about hip width distance apart to where your ankles are directly underneath of your knees. Your fingertips might brush the backs of your feet. Once you're comfortable here, push up, lifting the hips. It's a bridge pose. Make sure your knees track over your feet in the same direction. Think about if you had a yoga block, you can even put it in between your thighs, and that can help you squeeze into the right direction. If not, it doesn't matter. Just think about squeezing inward. Lift as high as you can. Push your hips 1 inch higher. If you're really comfortable, you can roll the shoulders underneath of you. You can take a clasp here. Make sure you bring your arms back to the ground. Reach your arms forward. Roll your chest to the top of the mat, but press the back of your head into the ground. There should be space between your chin and your chest, even as you roll the chest forward. On your next inhale, walk the shoulders out from underneath of the body, unclasp your hands if you have the grip, and slowly lower your hips to the ground. Lie still as you can, and let your body readjust. For our second back bend, I'm going to cue through full wheel pose. If that's not accessible to you for any reason, you can always try it, and then if you find out that your body isn't going to have it, just go through another wheel bridge pose. Otherwise, if you know that you're not going to have it, just go through another bridge. Otherwise, I'm going to cue through a wheel. Set up the same way that we did before. Feet under knees. For full wheel, hands next to ears. When you're ready, inhale and push up, push through the feet and lift up just to the top of the head, like here. Exhale, push all the way up. If you need a little bit of more space, you can come up on the toes, and that'll give you a little bit of space in the lower back. Think about pointing your knees again in the same direction as your toes. Your chest reaches toward the back wall, and your knees reach forward. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower down, tuck chin to chest. Lower your spine. You can walk your feet out and let the knees come in. Press the back of your spine into the mat so that there's no space between the floor and your spine. And just take a minute here to breathe. From here, bring your knees above your hips, kind of like tabletop, but upside down. Put your arms out to a T. If you don't have the space, you can cactus your arms. Drop your knees to the right side of your body. Eyes face the left wall. Your left upper body should be flat to the mat, so your left shoulder should be pressing down. If your knees don't come all the way down, that's fine. Relax as much as you can into the posture. It's not about how deep you can twist. Soften your gaze and slow your breathing. Inhale, bring the legs back up over your hips. Exhale, drop them to the opposite side. Keep your right shoulder pressed down, gaze goes towards the right wall, over your right fingertips. Gaze can be heavy. You can close your eyes if you want. Relax. Relax the muscles in your face. It's okay if you look like you're making a funny expression. On your next inhale, bring your knees back over your hips. If you'd like, you can put your feet over your hips, just a small inversion to reverse your blood flow. If not, you can always take a happy baby here. This always feels like a really nice ending posture. You can take some movement. Just lay your back flat against the mat. Press your lower back into the mat, your upper back. Think about taking up as much space on the mat as you can. Press your hands into your heels and your heels into your hands. When you're ready, bring your knees into your chest and wrap your arms around as much as you can. If you can only grab your hands, that's fine. If you can only grab the shins, that's fine. If you can reach the elbows, go ahead and do that. Squeeze every muscle in your body in as tight as you can to a small little tiny ball. Take a big inhale and then exhale. Release your feet to the outer edges of your mat. Let your hands fall wide. Close your eyes for your final Savasana. You can let the hands curl in. Relax the muscles in your face. Relax your eyebrows and your nose and your cheeks. Let the tongue fall from the top of the mouth. Relax your toes and your ankles and your wrists. All the small parts of your body that you don't even think about holding tension. Just let them go and think about sinking heavy into your mat. When you're ready, go ahead and start bringing small amounts of movement into your body. So you can wiggle the fingers, you can wiggle the toes, you can make circles with your ankles or your wrists. You may have some good morning crunchies. I always do. If you'd like to, you can bring your hands above the head. Keep your eyes closed for one last big good morning stretch, reaching towards the front and the back of the room. When you're ready, you can roll onto one side into a fetal position. Lay heavy on the floor. Make yourself comfortable. You're supported. And when you're ready, you can push up into a comfortable seated position. It doesn't matter which way you're facing. It doesn't matter how you sit. You can take easy pose. You can sit on your heels. Just reach the spine straight up to the sky. Crown of the head reaches to the heavens. Inhale, circle, sweep your arms up. Meet at the top of your head, above the crown of your head. Pull your hands to heart center and bow head to hands. Acknowledging your hard work, thanking yourself for showing up and going through this practice. May all beings know the infinite capacity to love and be loved through this practice. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.